Hello, this is a Platinum 5 Orisa VOD review, and the post on this one mentions that they're a support player playing tank for queue times. So we'll go through. It also said they thought they were doing pretty well on Orisa, but still losing games. So we'll see if we can find the source of that. Orisa can definitely make some plays. But then there are also times if they have like a good widow or their team goes full dive, sometimes your team can fall over, so.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
But Orisa can be good for this defense. Oh, I did not pre-watch this, but yeah, but it's one of the two scenarios where Orisa can feel lacking. And now Ryan's down there. And now they are in though, so yeah, once they cross this line, then it is good to go. And you can use Fortify if you start taking a lot of damage. Yeah, and I might have fortified there. It's not, you weren't in danger of dying, but the one upside to fortify is it gives you the CC protection. And anytime there's an Ana, I'm just used to these Masters Anas being perfect, so I'm like hyper fixated on her. But yeah, that's why you might use fortify, is if you're afraid of CC or getting charged or something. Good job getting the health pack. I just focus on living. I would have just kept backing up, and the spear. It's harder on Reinhardt, but on a lot of tanks, especially something like a Ram, if you want to back up, you usually can because of the spear. It'll get them off you. Okay, you did do it. Just a little slow. But yeah, if you got away, you probably could have retaken and got another fight on A. But mainly it was just that Widow pick, more than anything. But there were some issues with not using Fortify or getting out. And the rest of your team is still coming, like this is when a look back's important. Okay, we do have 4, so that's not bad. The issue is going to be this Rhine. So if you can, just try and poke him down and get his shield low and give him 2 ticks if you have to, is how you would play this. Yeah, you ate another charge. You got either, if you want to full sended fortify, or if you don't, just back out. Because that's the issue with trying to go through a Rhine, is you're going to get that charge. So that's why I was saying work him down first and give him the second tick, and then go in with fortify. Oh, Urana did really good. Okay, now we can reset. Just be careful with this. Once you use your fortify, you're really vulnerable. So this might just be feeding, depending on if their team reacts. You're probably gonna die, or you'll have to ult to get out of this. Good job using the spear spin. And you can just hold this corner. The good news is they do have a Rhine, so they have to come through, or they have to at least come through here or here. And then when they do, you can give them the ult. So just play patient. Okay, good fortify. And Orisa's ult isn't that great, but you can hold it for a little longer. It doesn't really get strong until, honestly, 3 seconds of charging. Good job going for backline. And yeah, Rhines are always tricky because it feels like they do those field charges out of nowhere. But yeah, good. Listen to your team, fall back, reset. That was good that you went in with your Reaper there, so the timing was good there. But otherwise, you do want to be patient. You don't want to just eat a bunch of chip damage and antis. Okay. And Ryan can do this if he wants. He's really tanky, but you don't want to turn your back to 3 people. You're lucky it just so happened that 2 of the 3 people just ducked behind a wall and they can't actually see your back. But you are just turning your back to them. So focus on the front line is what I'd recommend here. But yeah, good play. And I'm guessing if you submitted this game, they're gonna cap. So this is where you might press tab and really think like, what do they have at this point? And we saw Nano. We haven't seen Kitsune. Or their Kitsune. Yeah, that's just a bad Kitsune from your team. Don't feel like you have to bum rush them. And we've seen this a few times. You're really turning your back on people. And if you know you have a kill, if this was Cass and you have Fortify, sure, just press Fortify and kill him. Orisa is actually one of the few tanks that can do that, like force a kill and take tons of damage, but don't turn your back on people for little reason, like you keep doing. Yeah, and now you're in deep, and they Kitsune'd, and now if they get in a Kitsune and double team you, you're dead, and that's basically the point. So this was just a silly play, really. Good javelin though. Another good javelin, and that's fine. If you lose the team fight, that's fine. Like I said, it's not like you can reliably stop a D.Va venture. All Orisa can do is focus on the front line, and you got your trades, so. Yeah, and this is the part where I honestly don't blame you so much as going on. You're trying to clutch up, but as soon as you get that venture, honestly, the real thing to do as the armchair Overwatch spectator is just to run away and give them a tick, like I mentioned before with that Rhine. And your teammates are doing good with the group up sound chat, or what is it? Voice lines. Because honestly, just hiding in here for 5 seconds and then going out is the difference between winning and losing. Which, it's not like you have to pull some mechanical god play. You just have to... Yeah, because if you were in here, even if you were missing all your shots, the fact that there would just be a fat horse running around at this point would basically be enough to win the team fight. Okay, and I just did glimpse at how long the game is at the bottom, so this does turn into a long game. But yeah, we're up here, and I'm seeing what perk you took. The headshot perk, or the javelin charge perk, I think is the major one. That's fine. They don't have Widow anymore. If they had Widow, I'd say use the barrier perk, but... Good job watching the Tracer. I just, at that point, you're really just playing defense here. So stop the Tracer from getting this good flank in, like you don't want her to get here and start harassing everyone and then come up. So, I mean, you're doing good stopping the Tracer, but don't full send for kills. Sometimes you just extend too deep. And you baited your Kiriko in. So, I mean, let's just even go to Kiriko. So, what is it? Blue Kiriko.
Get them off the payload.
Yeah. And that's why I give half the death to you because you went past a bunch of walls and then she had to teleport. Good shots though, and they get your back line, which again, that's one of the weaknesses of Orisa, is that people can just go around you. And you lost all your HP from going in deep and getting your Kiri killed, so unlike the last fight, you couldn't trade out this time and at least kill their backline. So. Yeah, and they took actually so long to kill you that you might not even, or it'll be a tough retake. But just focus on, you gotta be the one to touch this card, so unfortunately you can't actually deal with this diva. You should be here and ready to go here. You're just turning your back on a lot of people again. A lot of this issue is either turning your back to people or I guess you would call it macro, where you're not playing the points right. You're not backing out to regroup. You're not getting ready to touch the point, and it's sort of just these decisions more than your aim, because I think your aim's like high plat. It's so.
Rocket
3, 2, 1. Yeah, so you threw. You demech the diva, but that's honestly not good. And they didn't have 3 on payload for some reason, so honestly, you could have demech the diva and probably still got to point at the very last millisecond. I was a little off on my timing because they didn't have 3 on cart, but you needed to be the one to touch. Literally just live, so you go here, and then here, spear spin out, and then just sort of AD on cart and give your team 5 seconds to flood out these doors, which there's a tracer, so they honestly might have failed anyway, but that's how you gotta play that. And that's, well, you're the support player, you know that's a bad nano. And just get out, like this is, you're doing it again. Your team got picked, they're respawning, you're still staying in, you're still pressing the W button. If you die here, then you're giving up the good defensive map control on third. So as the tank, it's your job to sort of just make sure you have this area. So literally just back up, you have a health pack, and then just sort of hold this area. If you die here, they're going to get map control, and then... Ah, nice. Yeah, they got bailed out. That javelin. They had to nano at least. Okay, that's just a bad fortify. You're gonna need that fortify because the payload, it's probably 12 seconds away from capping, and that's about what the cooldown on the ability is. So I know you took damage, but that's a bad fortify. Luckily we got a Kitsune. Good spear spin. Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about. Tracer, Kiriko, like a bunch of targets that are hard to even interact with as Orisa. But just try and choose one and commit to it instead of doing the circle thing, which I was so guilty of when I was a lower rank. Okay, there we go. We stuck to a target. Good job. And you kind of want to stay on cart. That's good. Ana backed away, So now you can 3v1 their tank. So this is a common theme in games. So you're playing it great here. Maybe that spear spin in was a little risky, but not too bad. And now that you did get him to back off a little bit, if you want to, this is your chance to take control of the map again. Because like I said, as tank, it's your job to hold the important spaces. You don't want Venture doing this, Tracer coming up here, Diva sort of just holding this spot. You're giving them a really nice way to surround you. So I think, again, as far as macro play and decision making, this is when I would go up and try and take this area. Because it's going to be a few seconds before they attack you again. Oh, well, your Mei's trying to do it. Good target priority, going for the Kiri. And we go. I can't coach you on the good hold, but I can't coach you on the javelin hold perk because I never choose that one. It just seems like you're, in general, anyone who chooses that perk, you look so dumb while you're charging it and not doing anything. So I haven't really tried that perk yet. But it just feels like it's not that good because you end up charging it and doing nothing when you could just be shooting people, so.
Shed the weight of your doubts, and your mind will become clear.
But now we're gonna attack. Attack on Orisa will probably be a little harder on this map. But we have spear spin, so you keep eating all these anti-nades. If your reactions are fast enough or she's far enough, you can spear spin these grenades. She hit your whole team. But that's fine, and from here, well, we'll see how you play it. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but that was really good. Now just wait and get healed. You took the area as tank. You're anti'd, your abilities are out. A lot of people don't recognize that in times like this, it's time to just get healed. You can peek over here if you have to make sure your supports can see you. Or where the heck are your supports? Oh, your Kiri died. But yeah, wait for your abilities back. You can even do the tank passive where you, after 5 seconds, you actually heal quite a lot of HP as tank from just the passive. But yeah, help your cast, spear this person, yeah. Good play. That was sort of the plays you were making earlier, where you go in super deep and get punished, but... And you can do a spear spin, not a spear throw, but a spear spin and knock him off. If you ever get a look like this, that would probably be better if you knock him over here by just doing this. So that's an Orisa thing. And we're doing a lot of indecisiveness, so you gotta choose if you want to actually run it down point, which is pretty dangerous, or just hold up here. Holding up here and poking out people honestly might be the way to go, because actually walking on point is kind of suicide against an Ana and a Lifeweaver up here. They're just gonna heal everyone, so, and pull everyone. Unless you get some abilities out. Okay, we almost did it, but yeah, this is just so random the way their D.Va keeps going in. And if you were D.Va or Winston or anyone, you could probably peel if they go in this deep, but... Yeah, and there it is again, going under this archway, because Cass is just gonna turn and shoot you too, so I mean, you really as tank have to take control of the map, and fight for these areas. Because this is 100... Before it was gonna be hard to go point, now it's impossible. If they're set up here, you're literally gonna get shot in the back, so... But your Cass ulted, so this is kind of your chance to spear spin in, and then you can ult. This is as good of a chance as you're gonna get, to be honest, because they're at least on point now. Okay, your Cass did it, but the fact that you went in at the right time was good.
Cloning module loaded. Prepare for duplication.
And we're doing the low ground thing again. This is not a good map for low ground characters, so anytime you get a chance, you should try and take this high ground. And you might accidentally kill this Lifeweaver, but it's important to get this area, because if they're set up here, and then their tank or their Cass is here, you honestly think you're going to be able to just push card through here. You're not, so I can tell you from experience the hard way that it's just not going to happen, so... Yeah, and we're doing decent damage here, but we're not actually helping our team, because your Cass had to win this 1v1, or wherever they fought, so... And that D.Va's doing the right thing. The fact that you don't have high ground means she can surround you. So this is their D.Va hasn't been great so far, but now they're taking advantage of the map. So yeah, and that's another case of you really just need to hold it more, and also your team is being a bunch of payload standards, but at no point did you look back. When you started that play and sent the spear spin, I'm thinking in the back of my head, like, is any of your team close? I wonder how far ahead of your team you are. And it was worse than I thought. I thought your team was at least going to be here or here. They were all standing cart. And there's nothing you can do about this high ground. There's no way to actually get to it besides this, so you're just gonna have to spam this Cass and hope your team kills him. Or he has to run away. Good spear. So good shots. So if it devolves into a brawl, your mechanics are pretty good, so. And that was another case, as soon as I saw that Ana, I would have spear spun, but just to stop these antis and sleeps.
Oh, I feel a warning sign. I was made to protect.
But yeah, good job, and notice how we're able to set up here for free. As soon as you got that Lifeweaver, you should have gone up the staircase and at least gotten here. If they'll let you, you can also get here, and your supports can see you and all that stuff. But you keep just giving them map control on a map where it's really awkward to be Orisa on low ground. So. And when you do this, you're either hoping your DPS will make a play or the other team's bad, but you're not going to consistently win games if you let them have all the map control. You can't help them with that diva, so right decision trying to just trade on the front line. Yeah, and I think this was unwinnable at this point because their spawn is so close. They're already, yeah, who's this? Yeah, the Reaper's already back. And you did it again where you've released the ult super fast. The percent, I think, is the actual damage you do. So it goes up to 500, and if you release it right away, you're doing 80 damage to someone getting healed, so not great. And there wasn't really a safe way to run away that time, so before you had easy ways to hide and then take point 5 seconds later, but you were just dying cart there.
This ends now.
Yeah, and she got away. That's tough. I don't blame you for dropping down if you thought you were actually going to finish the elim, but... Okay, that time we really didn't have to. Or I guess they ulted. But yeah, you do end up getting kind of separated from your team a lot. And that's where, see the Sojourn slide and the Diva, that's why it's kind of better to stick with your team until you see a chance for a good play and then you bum rush forward. But if you leave them so early, then teams can just do this, and then Orisa's not really a good tank. She can't go back and help or really do anything or follow the Sojourn, so... And you're just watching your team get killed, so. I mean, the dropping down was a bit silly. If you had another option, which you did, you had here to hide from the ult. Good spear spin to try and trap him in the corner. I think she slid or something awkward happened. Okay, she popped out, but the play was good. Yeah, and that was fun. Your team went in, so you went in. I just think that Javelin perk is such a bait because I know in times like this, if you just headshot someone a lot, they'll die faster than trying to run after them charging a javelin. It just the damage per second is wildly different.
This ends now.
Yeah, so they are going to win. The main takeaways are try and take map control as a tank. Be aware of your team, of where your team is, because we noticed you either pushed too deep and got you killed, or almost dead, or your support's killed, or you weren't able to group up with your team for a retake. So those were the ways that sort of bit you. But if you fix those two things, your mechanics are pretty good, and you'll probably climb. So good luck.